a brass warbler whistle for my old friend and brother, Phil. And to do this, I've got some materials. This is going to be a batch of, 20 plus whistles. And the first one becomes the proof for this particular batch. And the mouthpiece was carved out of some solid brass like this, some rod, and the finial, the egg shape there, was also carved out of some solid brass like this here. There are internal moving parts that are made of this low friction acetal or Delrin rod. So probably the sound block will be made of Delrin or possibly of brass. And then also the slide plunger and the bushing that smooths the action of the slide right at the base of this foot joint piece here internally will also be made of Delrin. And this suspension ring, which will eventually make it possible to wear this on a lanyard, was made out of a solid piece of brass, similar to this one. I just already turned this one. And then these lengths of brass tubing of 2 different dimensions are going to become the basic whistle body. This will be the actual bore of the acoustical whistle. This will become a foot joint, which will cap off the whistle and enclose the slide piece at the top. And this one here will be the outer dimension of the whistle body. You can see the 2 different layers. I've used brown tripoli to really smooth that out, but you can see that there are 2 layers of brass, and that outer layer of brass becomes the sealing of the acoustical windway, or the fipple, inside the top. This mouthpiece here is really just aesthetic, and it fits over the main part of the acoustical whistle, but it feels good, and it's a nice way to have something safe that will really not bang on one's teeth and make it kind of easy to play the whistle in the end. The spring I make by hand by wrapping this 22 gauge wire. For this size whistle, that's my favorite dimensionality of wire, and it just comes out perfectly. It's incredibly satisfying to make a spring, wrap it around, and then push and pull it in different dimensions until it has just the right tensile strength. I will be anchoring the spring with a milled hole. As such, you can see that there's a hole there. I'll be threading this brass rod, which becomes the slide control, and I'll thread it at each end, once for the internal plunger mechanism and once for the finial. And that will be made of this solid brass 5/32 dimension. And I will sometimes, depending on what's needed, I'll make a custom split ring out of an even smaller gauge wire to accommodate a commercial split ring, just for convenience. So it's nice, and it allows real flexibility so that the whistle doesn't lock up when it's on a lanyard. You can just pick it up and play it. To finish the whistle off, we'll use brown tripoli on a wheel, and then white diamond compound on a wheel, and then probably a blue rouge or possibly a yellow rouge to put a final mirror finish on the metal. There's a Celtic knot on this one, a little bit of freehand scrolling, a signature they all have a little LBW bird head logo and a serial number. This happens to be Warbler Chanter WW 128. Although I suspect that the whistle that's coming forth here may be 129 or a higher number. They get numbered in the order that they're actually finished, and many whistles get started but not finished in the same order they were begun, much like opus numbers. Enjoy!